This isn't going to be a very long video. About a year ago, I made this video about Captain Zack and his relationship with various grown men. And at the time, I was pretty new to YouTube. All the info we had was, in hindsight, pretty skewed. Since then, I've made a few more videos, but things kept happening with Zack and Nairo. I got a couple comments, some mad, some just interested, asking or telling me to make an update. And for a long time, that set wrong with me. But I think finally, after everything had time to simmer and stories have been cross-examined, I think it's worth talking about again because I think this video got a few things wrong. 90% of the time, I feel like the evidence speaks for itself. And I assume the conclusion that you are drawing while watching it is the same conclusion that I had while researching it and editing it. Most of us have accepted the story for a long time that it was non-consensual and basically one-sided. But I feel like a lot of people forget that there was that period of time after Nairo's confession and apology. A period where we had all just decided unanimously to exile him. And it was in that period of time that I created my video on Captain Zack. Going into the video, I intended to totally crucify Zack. However, by the end, I'd become so angry by the idea of children ever having to shoulder any of the responsibility of anything sexual that has happened with someone else when that other person is a adult who know exactly what they're doing. I couldn't, as I made the video, that pissed me off more and more. So after the video was finished, I adopted that stance unofficially. There's only a few opinions I've stated in my videos. And at the end of Captain Zack, one of the ones that I said was that children are not peers. And I still believe that 1000%. In the video, I painted Nairo as a knowing adult, preying on the immaturity, arrogance, and overconfidence of a child who, at the time, was riding the high of being the best in the world at a children's party game. My stance back then was clear, that Nairo was in the wrong, Zack was in the wrong, and that neither belonged in Smash for different reasons. Although I believed at the time a path would be opened up one day for Zack on the basis of redemption, I don't really necessarily believe that anymore. My Captain Zack video ended with me making, as of now in my YouTube career, the most incorrect assumption I've ever voiced, that Nairobi Quezada will never return to competitive Smash. Several months after my video, new evidence was released, and the narrative popularly shifted to the story of non-consent. A lot of Smash pros came forward supporting Nairo, saying that they believe his version of events based on this now mythical document that barely anybody's read, that isn't public. The comments to fix the video began, but I didn't, because something just felt wrong about the whole situation. So I waited. And to my shock, the public embraced him back. He made a highly praised return to content. He was removed from tournament ban lists. And people like me who had stuck to our opinion that this wasn't closed and finished, that a settlement out of court, that a document read by what amounts to be wizards in a cave, people like me, our opinion became unpopular. Like, people really liked Nairo, and when you said anything bad about him, they were fighting words, it was victim blaming, so a lot of us shut up, and things moved on. So, why am I bringing this up now? Well, for a lot of you, I think that's a pretty obvious question. But for the rest, I will explain. There is another much larger YouTuber named Technicals who covers the failures of the Smash community, kind of like I do. While making my video on Zero, I would ask Tech, who was talking with him at the time, if Gonzalo was alright. I knew that he was guilty of solicitation, because he had admitted to it, but I sympathized with him nonetheless, which I didn't do for the other subjects of my videos. Beyond hoping that they heal, I don't want anybody to... But for Gonzalo, I hoped to see a return to content. I had rationalized his actions as the result of just many extreme factors, and not as the actions of a violent, dangerous predator. I believed that he wasn't that person anymore who had made that mistake, that he had barely ever really even been that person in the first place. And for many, many months after my video, I was pulling for Gonzalo. Now, it's 2021. It's almost a year after that tidal wave of Me Too justice just crashed down. We have been sifting through all of the debris left behind, and it turns out some of this shit wasn't fucking real. Most of it was real, but some of it was lies. Technicals released a borderline magnum opus, a re-examination of Zero's case, and he found that nearly all of it had been fabricated or misunderstood or obtuse beyond fucking reason, save for Zero's confession that he had indeed solicited pictures from an underage girl. The community went crazy. Tech's video blew up, and everyone started arguing about hypocrisy and sex crime apologists and all that stuff. And at the exact same time that Tech released his video, Zero put out a video announcing his return to content, and I excitedly watched his statement, and I felt nothing. In fact, I felt closer to revulsion, and it was like all at once this feeling like none of this shit fucking matters at all hit me really hard in the face. I was spending so much time concerned about these abusers. We all were just obsessed with the cancellation, transfixed by the return. I was thinking about how just about Troy and Waddy, and about how unvocal they are with drama when they can be, you know? And I was thinking about how I just wish that they were in charge of things, even though I know neither would want to be. But I wish it was guys like them, who didn't feel like they had to constantly struggle to be noticed. And the whole thing, I watched Omni talking about Zero, and he was just disgusted by it all. He didn't want to talk. It was bad energy, and I felt all that. And I thought about how there are people who have incredible stories, who deserve all this attention, who are dead in a lot of cases and need to be remembered, need to be appreciated, need to remind people that not to let their memories fade. And those stories seem so much better than what I'm doing. The next day, Zero made content, and I watched 3 minutes and decided I was done covering Smash. Not because I hated Zero, but because I had caught the thing that I had been chasing that I thought I wanted in his return, and it just wasn't anything to me. So I thought about why. I posted something sassy on Twitter. I was immediately SMH'd by a guy I talked to, a TO. He immediately DM'd me, and we started talking about the Zero video. And he told me that he believed Nairo's story. He'd been friends with many of those guys. He was friends with Nairo and Zero. And he said that he believed Nairo because of all those guys that he talked to. He didn't believe their stories, but Nairo was the only story that made sense to him, that never changed, that he believed. And I left that conversation still liking this guy a lot, but upset that he had openly and so annoyingly confirmed that the entirety of the upper echelon of Smash operates and has for a long time at a level equal to high school politics. It's not about consistency or evidence, it's about popularity. So a week after that, he released his video on Nairo, and I watched it right now. And after I watched it, I wrote this out. In this video, it's asking one primary question above all else, and it's the question that I've been asking for a year. Why is Nairo still here, but Zero's gone? Why is it okay for Nairo to come back to competitive, but Zero is not? And why are people in the Smash community, why are they being so hypocritical and inconsistent in saying that what Nairo did is fine, but what Zero did makes them uncomfortable and they don't want him around? If Nairo had his by a child twice and let him lay in his lap at events and flirted with him on Twitter, if that stuff's all true, why is he allowed to keep playing? Why is he allowed to keep playing, but the 19-year-old who asked an underage girl for nudes should die? Why does that make sense? That's like canceling Aziz Ansari for being a bad date, but then letting Harvey Weinstein audition Aziz Ansari's date. It doesn't make any sense. And at that point, I dropped the clip of somebody in Shark Tank saying,
"That's sheer insanity. I'm out."
So this is the update to that video. I don't want to wait for a final verdict. I don't want to watch stuff unfold. I don't really care or want to see how the Smash community reacts to Nairo finally being called out on a level that might actually get some results. I don't care anymore. I'd like to turn my attention to more deserving people like Etika, who I've been working on for a month now. And some of you might have seen the one video I posted up. That's just a small segment from the video I'm making. That's what I'm doing now. Nairo should not be allowed in competitive Smash. That's my opinion. That's what I believe. Zero should not be. I am right there with you. But I am saying it is a travesty of justice to look me in the face and say that Nairo's fine, based on what I honestly believe to be a bogus story. And I'm so glad somebody said something about it. And I just hope stuff gets better, whether I'm there or not. I'll still play. I'm not paying attention anymore. I hope you guys are going to like this video I'm making. It's taken me a long time. There's a lot to cover. Right now it's about 40 minutes, so you'll have something to hopefully eat dinner to. Thank you for listening if you made it this far. I appreciate it. And hopefully, maybe I'll talk to you guys later.